Gus, 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 Gus. Gus 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 Super energetic now. I had an endoscopy a couple years ago. They give you like the twilight where you forget what happened. So like I went in, they gave me like the one injection. I was like, whoa, I feel kind of woozy. And they gave me the second injection and I'm like, gone. When I finally regained consciousness, I'm like eating a pizza at Manja. You know,
it's so,
like hours
so
later.
Weird.
And then my wife was mad at me. And I was like, you know, what happened? She goes, you were such a jerk. Oh she said after the procedure, putting my clothes back on, the doctor came and I guess gave my wife a pamphlet, like information about the procedure. And then as soon as he left, I was like, give me that. You know? My God. And I took it from her. And she said that I just sat there staring at it. She could tell I wasn't reading, that my eyes weren't moving. And then she was like, are you done with it? Can I look at it? So I gave it back to her. Then she said like 10 seconds later, I was like, what is that? Give me that. And I took it back from her. Then I guess the doctor was explaining everything to my wife. And then I said, don't explain it to her. She won't understand.
Oh my God.
And then I was at the pizza place and I was eating like a barbecue chicken pizza. And I was like, who let me order this? Like, I would never eat this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Oh my God.
We go down there. The car's been egged. It had an omelet on it. It's like my car was sunny side up.
But was it just your car? Like
just my car.
someone had gone and bought eggs to put on your car.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think they egged your car?
Probably 'cause it's been sitting there for 3 weeks. I moved it from one side of the street to the other once. But,
Okay, apparently that wasn't enough to
so-
stave off an egging.
Fuck.
Have you ever been in an earthquake?
No, I've always wanted to be.
Me too.
Like, every time I go to California, I was like, this is it. I'm gonna feel it.
I was gonna say,
I think we should have the next event right here. It's like in the middle of nowhere, like right on the fault line. Bernie's like, what the fuck? And Gus is like, it's a perfect idea.
How would you prepare? What would you do if you're in the earthquake?
I feel like we
No, it's happening, guys.
I should have a little, like, in case of emergency, break glass. Like a little party favor.
There's a little popper.
Earthquake. Whee! I almost got stabbed and murdered on that hill. When I was like 15, I was up there with some people I knew, throwing rocks from there, trying to hit the football field. One of the dudes I was with threw a rock, and then some dude came walking out onto the field, and the rock hit really close to him. He like yelled something at us, and we're being dumb kids. We like yelled back at him, and then the dude very calmly leaves the stadium, goes to his car, then pulls out a giant machete and runs up the hill. We were like, oh fuck. We ran down the hill, and at one point we split up so he wouldn't find all of us. I was trying to walk calmly down the street, and I saw his car like come screaming around the corner, and he like slammed on the brakes and jumped out, and I was like, oh shit. So like it was like something out of a horror movie. Like I ran into the nearest building that was open and was like going through the stairwell, like going up, then trying to go back down and get away from him. But eventually like I got away from him.
That's childhood, right? Childhood is throwing rocks at shit you shouldn't be throwing rocks at.
Yeah.
I have stress dreams about recording the podcast sometimes, where it's like I'll wake up like in a panic, like my heart's racing, like, oh shit, the microphones, where are they? Like, oh goddamn, it was just a fucking dream. Or it's like I had a dream that we were recording the podcast and Bernie was in it, and he wasn't talking the whole podcast, and it was like kind of stressing me out because like I didn't know what was wrong or what to do. And then as soon as we finished recording, he was like, oh, I wasn't talking because I really had to fart really bad, and then he farted, and then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was with that dream?
Gus went to go work for the shittiest company ever. At one point, he worked at a department, Matt, where they laid off so many people that he had empty cubicles around them that he rearranged them into a fortress with webcams up. And as people would approach his area, like the fucking Wizard of Oz, he'd be like, "Who approaches?"
But it occurs to me that Gus also has a weird accent.
I do?
Yeah, when he goes into the podcast, it's
I
like,
do.
this is Gus in real life. Everybody shut up, motherfuckers! I'll fucking kick you in your sack, fucking... Hi, this is Gus. I'm with the podcast, and today we'll be talking about whatever subjects of video. Y'all shut up, kick you in the sack!
This portion of the podcast brought to you by Fleshlight. Fleshlight, go fuck yourself.
Gus, we tried to break your mind. We had a conspiracy of people trying to fuck with you, and you didn't even notice.
Yeah.
We spent an entire week sending you aims with everything in quotes.
Okay, yeah. God damn it. God damn it. I was trying to I was going through all of my settings. I was doing Google searches. What the fuck is going on? Was there an update to I am? Like, where is this setting? Why is it all in quotes? I had probably the creepiest convention experience ever. It finally happened. Someone followed me into the bathroom to get something signed.
Really?
It was Mike from Maine. I was sitting there at the urinal. Or not sitting, I was standing at the urinal. And I could tell there was someone behind me, so I kind of look over my shoulder, and there's someone there with one of their Halo 4 posters and a Sharpie. He's like, hey, can I get you to sign this, Gus? I was like, my hands are, I'm kind of doing something at the moment. He was like, oh, well, I wanted to make sure I caught you. I said, you know there's only one exit to this bathroom. Yeah. You could have waited on the other side of the exit, and you would have caught me anyway. He's like, yeah, but I really want to get you to sign this. I was like, okay. So I come over, and I intentionally, without washing my hands, start going over to try to sign it. He's like, no, wash your hands. I was like, no, you asshole, you came in the bathroom. If you're waiting outside the door, you get washed hands. Inside the bathroom, you get dirty hands. So then I signed this thing, then I walked out, and there was a family there waiting for me. They're like, oh, can you sign this for me, Gus? I was like, oh, thank you. How courteous of you to wait for me outside the fucking bathroom.
It would have been funny if an entire family followed you into the bathroom.
What we have now must be the perfect level of well-knownness.
The pharmacist at the pharmacy I go to knows who I am.
Oh, no!
So, like I have to get some fucked up medicine. I'm like, I can't go to my pharmacy because the guy knows me.
Hey, Gus, your butt herpes cream.
Yeah. Every time I go to pick up my medicine, he's like, hey, so I saw that short. You were really funny. Like,
oh, no!
Can I just get my pills, please?
Oh, that's the worst.
You kick off working next year's RTX, right? Like immediately.
Yeah, luckily we built that robot.
Gus bought 3,000.
Program for fun. Comedy routine broken. Kill.
We went to E3 one year. We rented a van, and it was the first time that Jeff and Gus met Matt. So I pointed out that, hey, we're in Los Angeles. We're only 5 hours away from Vegas. Gus goes, I'm not going to Vegas. I go, what do you mean you're not going to Vegas? And he gets so fucking infuriated. I'm like, what's going on? Why are you so mad about Vegas? He goes, I'm not going to Vegas. Don't talk about Vegas. So we're in the Del Taco parking lot in like downtown LA, like right on Transvestite Alley. I say, guys, look, I'm going to say one last time, we can just get Del Taco, we drive straight to Vegas. So Gus says, I swear to God, if you say Vegas one more time, I'm getting out of this van. I go, okay, fine, I give up. I will not mention Vegas for us tonight. I apologize.
In my mind, I was like, he's testing me. I just said I would leave the van, and he just said I was like, if I don't leave, he knows I'm a pussy. So I have to leave. Oh, no. I remember I opened the van door and just walked out.
Into the night. And Matt was like, who the fuck is this guy?
It was my first time ever in LA. I walked a block down the street, realized my mistake. This was a sketchy-ass part of LA.
It was pretty seedy.
So I got a cab. I took a cab back to our hotel. I packed all my shit, and I was like, I'm flying back to Austin tonight. Fuck this. I'm going home.
No. And that's a note on the bed. Are you serious?
I wrote, see you in Austin, assholes.
Asshole.
I read an article recently about a private company is looking for people who want to go to Mars and not come back.
I would do it.
Like they say,
with or without your wife.
You say stuff like this all the time. My retirement plan's a shotgun. You would never shoot yourself with a shotgun. You will never go to Mars and not come back.
I will do it just to spite you. I will go to Mars out of spite, motherfucker. And the whole time I'll just be like,
Gavin's back on Earth like, oh, I can't believe you went.
Just before your phone leaves the service area of Earth, there's just a picture of you at Earth like this.
By the time you land, we'll have telescopes powerful enough. We'll see you. We're just on Mars like this.
You'd be alone.
I assume they'd send a group of people.
Yeah, would that help you? You want to go with a group of people?
I need to keep my routine now. I gotta ignore people. I gotta find reasons to hide.
I imagine him in the spacecraft, like, making tape lines down the middle of the room. It's like, no, this is mine. This is mine.
So, would you go if there was no internet?
I mean, I assume there's gonna be no internet.
Why do they have Mars internet?
You get a Mars net, you mail 9 people. You get like 10 Instagram alerts all day long that were just red dirt. I know.
One time at my house, I was in my house at night, and I could hear like something chewing in the wall, like crunk, 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 crunk. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I walk over to it, and I hear it like crunk, crunk, crunk. I'm like, I don't know what to do because it sounds in the wall, so I just start punching the wall, like, get out of there. I had been drinking, right? So I start punching the wall. The noise stopped, so I was like, oh shit, it worked. So like I run outside and I look on my roof and there's like a pipe right there coming out of the roof, and like sitting on top of it is a giant rat. It's just like hunched over, like I could see it like silhouetted in the moonlight. And I was like, you fucking asshole. I started picking up rocks and throwing it at it. And I saw it like jump off of the roof and like just start running, hauling ass, and it ran over to my neighbor's yard. And I was like, yeah, that's right, asshole. It's my
Your
house.
neighbors at that time were like, oh god, the alcoholic's outside. They're fit again.
God damn it, Carrie, you're wearing your fucking headphones backwards too.
I don't.
Am I?
Yes.
I am.
Every fucking week.
It's more comfortable the other way.
It is. It's true. It's more comfortable. Turn yours around. It'd be a dream.
I want to do it. I'm going to do it.
The first time I saw Lindsay here at the office, I think I had been out of the office, and I came back and I walked in one morning and she was sitting at Jack's computer. I had no idea who the fuck she was. And then it got to the point where it was awkward, so I would just avoid her. Like if I saw her walking around, I wouldn't get up. And I'd wait till like she cleared the hall, and then I'd go to the bathroom or do whatever I needed to do.
I didn't know you had that much power, Lindsay. I would have put you outside my door, so that Gus would have been
Hello.
trapped, and like Gus would have just like snuck by.
I'm like the bouncer to Bernie's office.
Remember that one time you kicked me out of the office because you didn't know I was the intern? First I'd walked in, I was like, hey Gus, and I'm just getting stuff set up upstairs, and you walk up like hands behind your back, like, hey, what's going on, dude? I was like, oh yeah, I'm here to meet Brandon, Chris, I got stuff going on today. And you're like, that's cool. So yeah, they went out to lunch, probably won't be back for half an hour, so...
No, you were like, I'll wait for them. And I was like, no.
Yeah, no. I just left work at GameStop.
You were like, I guess I can go back to GameStop. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you should do that. Okay, bye.
When I first moved into my house, I had a problem where there was a squirrel where every time it saw me, it would throw stuff at me. If I would walk outside and the squirrel was in a tree, he would find like branches or like nuts or whatever to throw at me, and he would hit me. Then he tried to piss on me once. I was like standing in my lawn, and all of a sudden like liquid started falling next to me, and I was like, what's that? And I look up and there's a squirrel like pissing down like straight right next to me. Like, it's the fucking squirrel.
You're getting bullied.
Yeah. I've got a bone to pick again with the fucking squirrels at my house. So I have like this community garden plot kind of close to my house that I go to, and I grow like fruits and vegetables and shit. And it's under a pecan tree, so every now and then like a pecan will fall into the soil and like a little pecan tree will start sprouting. So the other day I was like, all right, I'm going to take this pecan tree, I'm going to plant it at my house. In 20 years, there's going to be a pecan tree here. So it's like, I planted it, I started watering it, I was taking good care of it. I was like, yeah, it's taking, it's all green, it's going to be awesome. Like a week after I planted it, I walked out, and there was a fucking squirrel. He had ripped it out of the ground. He had bit off the stem, bit off the root, and just ate the nut that was like the seed. I was like, you fucking asshole. Like I walked out in the morning to come to work, and like he stopped with it in his mouth and like turned to look at me. And I looked at him, I was like, what the fuck? He was like took off running. I was like, God damn.
Did you give chase?
Yeah, I chased him. Then he like ran up the tree immediately. I was so fucking angry. Like I had my backpack, so I'm sure I was like running like a fat kid down the street. When I first started going out with Esther, I had this really weird thing happen. So like on our third date or so, I was like, I have to tell her about Rooster Teeth. I have to tell her about this stuff. And I was like, listen, you know, I do this stuff on the internet, and I'm kind of famous. And she's kind of yeah, right. Get out of here. I'm like, no. Listen, it's gonna happen. Like someone's gonna recognize me. I just don't want you to freak out. I'm telling you right now. She's like, shut up. Get out of here. So then we went to a Starbucks to get some coffee. Literally, we walk in, and the barista's like, oh my God, you're Gus from Rooster Teeth. She's like, how much did you pay that guy? Like, did you plan this? I was like, no, this is totally just happening.
But seriously, how much did you pay that guy?
It was like $100.
My wife's a little upset with me right now. One of my dogs, Oswald, the little one, sometimes in the middle of the night, he'll like whimper because he wants to go out. And he makes like the quietest noise in the world, like a... And all like eyes pop open and like the dog needs to go out.
He's in trouble.
And over the weekend, one night, my wife got food poisoning and she wasn't feeling well. And she said she was lying in bed next to me, tossing and turning. I didn't even wake up. She said that the second the dog makes like a little whimper, I'm like, I need to help the dog. You know, I went on vacation. I went to Orlando actually over the summer. And when I came back, the first people I ran into were Matt and Brandon. They're like, hey, welcome back. How was your vacation? I was like, where'd you go? And I said, oh, I went to, Universal Orlando. And Brandon was like, wow, did you bring me anything? And I was like, yeah, I did, Brandon. I brought you a gift. And he went, really? I was like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? Of course I didn't bring you a fucking gift. And he just looked so crushed and defeated. So the other night I had a really, really strange dream. So I had a dream that I was walking my little dog, Oswald, and I was walking him in the front yard, and I look, and my next door neighbor is Gray. And I'm like, that's weird. How long has Gray lived next door to me? And then Miles and Aaron are talking to him. I'm like, what's everyone doing over here, like, in my neighborhood? They're like, oh, hey. I'm like, Gray, how long have you lived here? He's like, I've lived here for like 2 years. I'm like, how have I not fucking known this? So then I keep walking my dog down the street, and then my next neighbor over is Mac Brown.
What?
And Mac Brown had like this big Labrador dog. And like the Labrador comes out and he starts like licking my dog. And I look down and my dog is a candy cane. But in my head, it's fine. That's my dog. And then like the big Labrador has the candy cane in its mouth. And I'm like, control your dog. It's eating my dog. And then Mac Brown calls his dog away, but then like a piece of the bottom of the candy cane falls off. I'm like, look at that. My dog's fucked up.
So wait,
And then Mac Brown's like, it's okay, I can fix this. He goes into his house and he gets like this aerosol spray can and he starts spraying the candy cane like to fuse the pieces back together, except like the little rounded part falls off, and I start freaking out like, my dog's face! And then Mac Brown just turns around and goes back into his house. I'm like, my dog's face fell off. What am I gonna do? And then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that?
Company. And I thought, this is weird. I just got a bill the other day. Why am I getting another bill? So I open up this new bill and it says final bill. And I thought, well, this shouldn't be my final bill. So I call the gas company and they say, oh, yeah, well, your service has been canceled. And I said, why? He said, oh, a new tenant activated service at that address.
Uh-oh.
And I said, new tenant? I bought this house 2 months ago. And I said, who activated service at this address? On a hunch, I said, is it Peggy? And Peggy being the previous owner of the house. And they said, yes. I said, well, I need to get my name back on the account. I need this to be mine.
She still holds the gas rights to the house?
Yeah, and then they said, okay, well, we'll just need to charge you a $10 installation fee, and we can get it switched back over to your name. And I said, no, you're not going to charge me a $10 installation fee? And they said, well, it's a standard fee, sir. I said, I know it's a standard fee. I paid it already. You can't charge me to reconnect it again. They said, I can't do anything about it, sir. And I said, okay, I want to cancel everyone's gas on my street. And they said, what? I said, apparently anyone can cancel anyone's gas, so I'm canceling everyone's gas. And they said, hold on, sir. They put me on hold for like 10 minutes. And they come back and they go, yeah, you don't need to pay the fee, sir.
That's ridiculous. Do you think when they put you on hold to go talk to the manager, it was because they realized that you really could turn off the gas on everybody?
maybe the guy went to
figured
work.
out a
He's
dirty
like,
secret.
let's go turn off everyone's gas. And the manager's like, what the fuck are you doing?